Welcome to this another exciting episode in my newly created blog. Today we are going to learn how to develop a simple web crawler. So this is basic simple application where you can access a particular bunch of URLs and then get the content of each of these URL and display it in your application. So this is a web crawler. It is used by search engine and many other search applications. So the basic idea in this application is to have three main classes that interact with each other. So the first class is the pivot class. It contains a list of URLs, so a list of URLs. So our application is going to access this list and go to the sub URL of this list and get out the content of each of these sub URL of this list. And the second object we have is the page content, which is like a wrapper. So in this our wrapper object, we are going to wrap our content from this URL to this wrapper and display it back to the last object, which is the engine. So the engine will make a call to the URL, get the content, wrap it to this man, and display it to the search. So that's how we are going to implement this application. So the first part of the application is to develop the pivot. So let's go right to our code and start to our editor, Eclipse. I'm using Eclipse, and start the project. So create a new project, and this is our new project. Create a new project, a new Java project, and we'll call my web crawler. So my web crawler is our project, and in this project we'll create our first class, which is a pivot class. So pivot class, we'll put it in com.crawler. So in this class basically have just one private variable, which is a string, and it's called pivot. And we can generate the constructor of this class. Okay. Yes, I always like to. And also we can generate the getter and setter method. Select. So we have our getter, get pivot, and set pivot, and we are done with the pivot object. The next object is the web content object. So we create a new class and we call it page content. So this class is gonna store all the web content from the links. We store all the information of each content in the link. So the first thing is to have a private variable of string which have the particular link, another private variable of string which have the title of that page, another private variable of string which have the content, another private variable. I think that's it. So yeah, link, title, and content is enough for a page. We can now generate all the necessary things. You can store as many information you think you want from a page, but we'll just go with these three. So go to source, we'll generate a constructor using this field, and we are done for a page. We can as well generate the getters and setters method. getters and setters. Select all, done. I will just put in a no argument constructor right here, page content, and I'm done. So this is our page content. Now the next thing is to develop the engine of the application. So we go right here, create a new class, call the engine, call it the engine, and this engine class is gonna do the manipulation of all the objects from the page content. Is gonna go through the pivot link, get all the content of each pivot and display it. So that's what this engine will be doing. So definitely the engine should have a list of pivot. So private, a list of pivot, and we are going to call it pivot list. I'll import the list class from Java util. And the next thing is, I think that's pretty much, just create a constructor for it. Constructor to get the list, and that should be it. Take away the super. The next thing is we can just go ahead to create a getter and setter for this list. We might not use it. I just allow it to stink. You can just use the getter. We'll use the setter in the constructor. And now after creating this, we can come in right here to put a couple of methods to do this manipulation. The first thing is to have a method that will go through all this URL and get the sublinks of each URL. So what this method will be doing is, it will go through a link. I will illustrate it in this page. So this is my blog, tankoredward.wordpress.com. It will go through this WordPress page and go through all the content of this page and get the sublink of each page. So if you view the document, view page source, if you download this application, you're going to access this document and go to each ref anchor tag and get the link. So for example, this is an anchor tag here. You will go to this anchor tag and go to the href property and get this link from this page, and we do it for the entire page, for this entire object. That's what we want to do here. So to do that, the first thing is to create the method. So we have a public method, and this method will return to us a list of pivots, so a list of links. Call them pivots. You can give any other name you want. You can call them links. So if we call it search page, or we can just call it search sub pivot. Yeah, that's a good name, search sub pivot of that page. So we return to us a list of pivot. So we can call it URLs equals to new array list. We can store the pivot in an array list. I'll have to import this list. Okay. Now, what do you want to go through? We want to go through all these pivots and get the content. So next thing is to have a for each pivot p in this list of pivot, this pivot list, this pivot list in the class. So when we are creating the engine, we'll pass a list of pivot to the constructor. So we want to go through all this list of pivot and then get a sub pivot in each of these pivot. So I have used a library which help us to achieve this function. This library is known as the JSOUP. So I will just import this library in my application. So I will go to libraries, external jar. So JSOUP is the library name is JSOUP. I will add it to my application. I will apply close. So I now have the JSOUP library, and I will just copy and paste some code on how to use how to do this functionality. Oh yeah, copy paste. Now so far what have we done? We are able to go through this list and get this content using this library. So what the library does is it creates a document object. So this document object from JSOUP, we import it, and it goes through all the pivot using this function connect. So it connects to the pivot. It connects to the pivot. Why do we have a pivot? Okay, it's called pivot. So yeah, we have to say get pivot. Get pivot. Okay. So we connect to all this list of pivot. We get the pivot, which is a link. We get a link, and we connect online and download the document object and store it in this document. So this is what they call the document. This is the document. So it connects to the link. For example, connects to this blog and download this document and get it. So after getting this document, this other function here goes through the document and get every element from that document. So I'm just gonna import element from JSOUP. So it goes through this and download every element and get every element which is an anchor tag and has the property href. So it will go through this document and it will download every element which is an anchor tag. So this is an anchor tag here, A. This is another anchor tag, and you will check if it has the property href, and you will get this content from the href. So we get this URL, and you will do that for every anchor tag on this document. So you get it all, and then now after getting all the anchor tag, you will store it in this list called elements, and we go through each of these elements and get the particular element. So we import the element. So each of these elements, you go through the list of links and get each element and add it to our list of URL we have here. We just add it to it, and we import this from import output, and we add it to the list. So if you want to see what is displayed here, we can just print out, you can sys out this, and we'll put in link dot attribute, and we put in the particular list there called href. So we want to get the href element and print it out. So we are basically printing the same thing which we are adding to our list, just so that we see, so we can comment this part and print it. So I should return URLs. Good. So let's just run this function and see what is printed out for each link. So we'll create a main function to test it. To test the application, we'll create a main class. So we'll call it main app. We'll just check the main method. And there we have the main method. So the first thing is to create a list of pivot. And we call it pivot new array list. We import this list from Java util, import this one from Java util, and we add an equal sign. So after having this list of pivot, we'll go to each pivot dot add. We'll add a new pivot pivot, and here we just put a list. So I will just use this link for my blog. Yeah, I'll use a link. You can add 1 or 2 or 3 or whatever link. I will just use 1. So you can create another pivot and put more as many pivot as you want, but I will just use 1 for this application. So after going through and getting the pivot, the next thing is to add this pivot in an engine object. So we create an engine, call it engine, pass to new engine, and we pass in pivots. So we pass in this pivot in the engine. So the engine object accepts a list of pivot. So this is a list of pivot we pass into constructor. So now after having this list of pivot, we can now call engine.search pivot. So it's going to display to us all the URL. This engine search pivot method says sub pivot. We just run this list and we display the list. So let's see what happens if we run the application. Oh, sorry. Go to our main application. Click run as Java application. And here we have a list of links. These are all links from the anchor tag. So it displays all these links. Now we have all the links. So we can now comment this part and uncomment this one. So we, instead of displaying the link, we've added them to this our list of pivot. So this method will return us a list of pivot. So now what we want to do is we want to go through all these lists of pivot and then display the content of each of these lists of pivot. So we'll create a function called public function, and it will display to us a list of page content. So this is a wrapping functionality we are doing now, and we'll call it search sub pivots content. So it's gonna go through all the sub pivot content and search it. So we can make this our search sub pivot a private, so that this function is gonna call it and use it. So basically what we are doing is we are able to get sublinks from each of these pivot, and for each of the sublink we want to get the content and wrap it as a page content and send it back to the engine. So this function is gonna go through this list of pivot, wrap it in this page content object, and send the list to be displayed by whoever called this method, which will be in the main method. So the first thing to do is to create the list, of course. So we call it pages, and it will be a new array list. Now after having this new array list, the next thing will be to get the link or the sublink, so or the list of pivot. So we call a list of pivot and we call it pivots equals to this dot get pivot list. So we are calling the private method here. We call this method here sub pivot, get sub pivot, get what's the name, search, okay, search sub pivot. So we search all these sub pivot and we have it here, and we have to go through each of these sub pivot and get the content of the page. So we now have our for each pivot p in our pivot. We now go through and get the list. So basically it's the same code here. So I'm just gonna copy all this code. Yeah, format it. Copy all this code and paste it here. Oh, I didn't copy. Copy all this code, paste it here. Now, and let's see. The first part of the code is to go and get the document from this pivot. So you go to this pivot, you go through the list of this pivot and get for each P, you will connect to that pivot link and get the link here, connect to it, get the document, store it here. And for this document now we don't want to get link of list of link. What we want to get is we want to read this document, we want to read the title page of this document. So the first thing which we're going to do is we'll say string, we'll get the title of that page. The title will be taken from document.getTitle. Document.title, I think it's title. Okay, it's title, document.title. Now all this functionality is from the API, and you can get to learn how to use this API from this link. I will paste the information on how to use this API here. I'll also paste it at the description section below of this video. So you can go to this link to download the API, JSOUP.org. You download the API, and you can as well go to this guy's blog. This guy he explained how to use this API properly. You can go there and get information on how to get the link, how to manipulate with the document from this guy. So basically this line of code will basically go through this document and get the title page. So if you go to our website, the title page is what is displayed above the page. So if I go to the source code here, the title page will be in the header section. So at this part of the document, somewhere this is it. So this is the title page of this blog. If you just go and display and get the content inside this title page, that's what we do. And we do that for each of the link. So we will get the title page of this content. After getting the title page, what we want to get again, after getting the title, we want to get the link. Of course we already have the link. So the next thing to get is the content. So here we have a string content document dot body. Now we have the body element, means we have this body. This is the body of an HTML page, starts from here. This is the body. So we get all these elements inside right up to the closing of the body, somewhere here, somewhere down, right down again, yeah, right somewhere here. So we get all the body. That's what the function we do. We get all the body. But now we don't just want to get all the body including the tags and everything, so we have to say dot, we need just the content of the body, so we say dot text. Yep, dot text. It will return to us all the actual text inside the body, so without the tags and everything. So after getting all this, we want to add this to our list of pages. So pages.add, and we'll be adding it as a new page content. So we are wrapping it in the page content, and our page content constructor take in the links a title, it take a link, a title, and the content. So the link is already gotten from page.getPivot. Will give us the link, and the title we already have it there, and the content. So this is it. We've created a new page and we've added it to our pages, and we'll keep doing this for all the pages. We'll do this for all the pages and keep adding it until at the end of the day we'll return these pages. So return page. So now we have a complete page with each link. So all the sub URL with their link, with their content. So let's run this and see what happens. So we are just gonna call this in our main class. So in our main engine, instead of calling this one, we call this one. This function will return us a list of pages. So we have a list of page content. We'll call them pages. And we want to display each of these pages, so we have to go to for each page content pg. For the pages, we go to each pages and we can display it here, so we can just sys out. The first thing is to get the title, so we go pg dot get title. After we sys out, just to make it neat, we can put some lines under the title. Then we sys out and we get pg dot, we'll get the content, we'll get the page. Let's just get the link, yeah, get link, or the pivot, the link, yeah, and then sys out pg and we get the content. So after getting the content, we can separate each content with some bunch. There's another separator. We can just use the equal sign. We can just use the equal sign to separate the content. So that's it. This should be pages. So we just go through the list of pages. We get the title, we draw a line, we get the list, we get the content. So it's gonna go through all the sub links, get the sub links. So if we go to each of the sub link, access the sub link, get the content, go to the next, access, get the content. So if we go to this link, go to this link and get all this content from this link. And so that's it. So let's run it and see what happens. Oh, error. Now let's see what the error is. It's saying that malform URL. So we can just escape when the URL is not properly done. We can escape it and get URL is trying to access hashtag content as a URL. So this is a bad URL. So we can just put an exception for bad format URL. So we go back here to our page. So when we are searching the page, if we are trying to access to connect to a bad URL, it should throw this exception, and we can handle it here. So we can as well catch this exception, illegal argument exception. For now, we'll just do nothing. We'll just ignore it. We ignore this URL. We just ignore the problem and go to the next. So let's run it and see what happens. Have I clicked on? No, click on. Okay. It's running. Okay, it comes. So it has gone to each of our content and access it and brings out the content of each page. So it has gone to this man. This is a link, and this is a content, long content. So this is a content, it's long, so I do it this way. So it goes to another content called convert a CSV file into SQL file. This is my blog. This is one of the things I've been doing in my blog. So this is a link to that page, and these are the content of that page. See, this is the end, and it goes to another link. This is the heading, this is the body, and this is the content. You can search through this content for keywords and displaying and whatever you want to do. So this is how we access the link. So this is my blog. Yeah, it has gone to this. This is a convert CSS file, so it goes to this link and it gets this content, and all this content gets them and display them. So this is how you do to access a link and get this content, known as a web crawler. Get the content, and you can manipulate with the content how you want. That's how we design a simple web crawler. So I have done a good interface of this kind of applications with PHP. You can see that in my blog. I've done it with PHP. So if you come to my blog, tankeredward@wordpress.com, you will see how to develop a small search engine that is a web crawler with PHP. So I've explained to you how to do that with PHP, and I've also connected you to my GitHub directory where you can get the code and see how to go do it and put a small HTML interface to this. All the explanation is there, but with Java, this is what we are doing now. With Java, it's basically easy, as we've seen, especially using this library, the JSOUP library. You can access the page content and display it however you want. So thank you. I'm begging you to subscribe to my channel. I'm still very new to this channel, so please subscribe so that I get to put out good content for you. And if you have anybody which you can recommend this channel, please recommend this channel to that person. Don't forget to subscribe. Please subscribe, and leave a comment if you like the video. Also, don't forget to like and share. And if you have any question, please put it in the comment section below and I will get to you. And thank you, and bye bye. See you in my next video.